Hi, and welcome to the LM Report. I'm your host, Lima, and this is episode 6. Today's date, April 7th, 2025, and we're diving into a jam-packed episode titled Deep State Pushes Shadow Government. Bongino signals puzzle pieces will align. Buckle up, folks, this is going to be a deep dive into the economic currents, political chess games, and geopolitical tremors shaking things up across the United States and beyond. My mission here: to unpack it all for you, step by step, detail by detail, in a way that's clear, captivating, and keeps you hooked from beginning to end. Let's get started. The deep state's judicial overreach. First, let's set the stage with what's been dubbed the deep state. Now, whether you see it as a shadowy network of entrenched politicians, tech moguls, media influencers, and unelected bureaucrats, or just a buzzword that's gotten out of hand, one thing's hard to dispute: their tactics are in full swing, and they're leaning heavily on the judiciary to try to rein in Donald Trump's administration. Picture this: a cadre of rogue judges stepping way outside their constitutional sandbox, issuing rulings to micromanage the executive branch. It's a power grab dressed up as legal oversight, and it's unfolding right now. Here's how it's playing out. Trump's team rolls out policies, say, deporting gang members or tweaking trade tariffs, and bam, some district judge slaps a nationwide injunction on it. These aren't small potatoes rulings. They're attempts to dictate how the president runs the country. But let's pause and ask, does the Constitution give judges that kind of juice? Spoiler, it doesn't. Article 2 vests executive power in the president, full stop. He doesn't need a permission slip from a Democrat-appointed judge in, say, San Francisco to issue an order. Historically, nationwide injunctions were rare. Think early 20th century labor disputes. Not every policy spat. They're supposed to come via class action suits, not a lone plaintiff crying foul. Take Chief Justice John Roberts. He's already had to step in once, nudging these overzealous judges back into line. Back in 2018, he called out the trend of rogue rulings after a judge tried to block Trump's asylum restrictions nationwide. Roberts didn't mince words: the judiciary's job is to interpret laws, not run the government. Fast forward to now, and the pattern's only gotten worse. These judges are betting on dragging things out, tie Trump up in court for years, sap his momentum. But here's the catch: it's not sticking. Why? Because Trump's got the mandate, popular vote, electoral sweep, and the public's not buying the judicial overreach narrative. Speculate for a sec. What if the Supreme Court drops the hammer? Imagine a landmark ruling, say, late 2025, clarifying that district judges can't issue blanket injunctions without a class action. It'd kneecap the deep state's legal playbook overnight. Trump wouldn't have to tiptoe around every ruling. He'd just point to the Constitution and keep rolling. That's the endgame they're sweating, and it's why they're scrambling for Plan B. Shadow government in the works. Speaking of Plan B, let's talk about the deep state's next move: a shadow government. Yep, you heard that right. The Democratic National Committee's floating something called the People's Cabinet, a self-styled counterweight to Trump's agenda. They're pitching it as a coalition of experts, leaders, and everyday Americans to bring accurate information to the public. Sounds noble, right? Peel back the curtain and it's a lineup of washed-up leftists. Think Robert Reich pushing class warfare, Mandela Barnes recycling failed campaign vibes, Heidi Heitkamp dreaming of electoral rule, Martin O'Malley guarding Social Security from imaginary boogeymen. This isn't a cabinet, it's a nostalgia tour for has-beens. Do they really think this'll fly? History says no. Shadow governments pop up when the opposition's desperate. Look at the UK's shadow cabinet under Labour in the 1980s, a formal setup that still couldn't topple Thatcher. Here, it's less organized, more theatrical. The people voted Trump in, popular vote, landslide mandate, and they're not about to salute a bunch of unelected talking heads. Imagine Obama on X urging sacrifices to resist Trump. Maybe he's picturing 2020-style street chaos, but without funding. More on that later. It's a hollow threat. The public's awake, thinking logically. Disinformation doesn't stick like it used to. Bongino's puzzle pieces. Now let's shift to the counterpunch. Dan Bongino, ex-podcaster turned FBI deputy director, is dropping hints that the good guys are on the move. He's not here to play. He ditched a cushy gig raking in millions to clean house. In a recent X-post, he laid it out: nothing's happening by accident. Measure us by results. Translation: the puzzle pieces, agency cleanups, investigations are coming together, but it's a slow burn. Why? Because rushing risks botching it. Think Watergate. Nixon's crew got sloppy and it unraveled fast. Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, RFK Jr., John Radcliffe. They're methodical, rooting out sleepers, insiders waiting to sabotage before the big swing. Picture this, the FBI's a sprawling beast, 35,000 employees, tons of deadweight. Same with the DOJ, CIA, DHS. You can't just storm in and arrest folks day one, you'd hit a wall of leaks, tampered evidence, or mistrials. Historical parallel, Eisenhower's 1950s purge of communist sympathizers in government, quiet, surgical, effective. Bongino's signaling the same, give us time, watch what happens. Speculate a bit, what if, by August, they've flipped enough agencies to drop a bombshell, declassified docs, Epstein list, treason trails, all tying back to the same players. That's the storm brewing. Economic leverage and summer protests. Trump's not sitting idle, he's wielding the economy like a sledgehammer. Tariffs on China, defunding globalist outfits, World Economic Forum, WHO, WTO, cutting Soros's cash flow. It's a chokehold on the deep state's wallet. Look at history. Economic pressure broke the Soviet Union's back in the 80s, Reagan starved their war machine. Trump's doing the same, dry up the funds, and the paid protests fizzle. Right now, we've got hands-off rallies, Chicago, Boston, 50 states pushed by Soros and Obama's rhetoric, but check the data, geofencing shows the same 7,498 devices at Kamala rallies, Antifa gigs, pro-Hamas marches. It's not organic, it's a rent-a-crowd. Summer's the flashpoint, August, when Congress bails for recess is prime riot season. Think 2020, Minneapolis burned while DC napped. The deep state's banking on chaos, protests morphing into looting, anarchy, but Trump's ready. Defunding's his ace. If Soros can't pay, those buses don't roll. Imagine July, DOJ, Department of Government Efficiency, exposes NGO kickbacks, 80% of aid siphoned to execs, 20% to programs, public outrage spikes. Funding dries up and by August, the streets stay quiet. Counterinsurgency 101, starve the beast, win the people. Agency cleanups and sleeper threats. Inside the agencies, the cleanup's intense. A senior DOJ immigration lawyer, Reza Ravini, got sidelined for botching a case tied to an MS-13 deportation. Was it incompetence or sabotage? Sleepers are real. Think Cold War moles in the CIA, feeding intel to Moscow. Patel and Bongino know one slip, hidden evidence, a procedural glitch could tank a prosecution. They're scrubbing the ranks, ensuring the rule of law holds by mid-2025. Expect a leaner, meaner FBI and DOJ ready to roll out. Indictments that stick. Bill Gates and DI fallout. Meanwhile, Bill Gates's empire's wobbling. His foundation, tax-exempt, flush with billions, might lose that status over anti-white discrimination claims. The Gates scholarship excludes white students, straight-up bias, says the American Alliance for Equal Rights. IRS scrutiny could flip the script. Imagine the ripple, nonprofits audited nationwide, DI cash cows exposed. Trump's executive order already axed DEI in public schools. States like Maine are dodging it, renaming titles but keeping the agenda. Pushbacks coming, funding cuts loom for non-compliers. Protests and puppet masters. Back to the streets, Obama's out there urging resistance to Trump's university crackdowns. No more pro-Hamas rallies, deported agitators. Protesters clutch free signs, parroting fascist without a clue. Geofencing nails it, same crew. Paid by groups like Indivisible, DSA, even Muslim Brotherhood ties. Elon Musk tweeted, "Puppet masters, not puppets, are the problem." He's right, cut the strings, and the show flops. Summer riots, possible, but Trump's military card, Insurrection Act, if needed, and public support could squash it fast. Constitutional pushback. Second Amendment's under fire too. New York's Governor Hochul signed a bill letting credit card firms track ammo buys. Unconstitutional? You bet. Echoes of First Amendment curbs. Imagine needing a speech permit, same logic. Folks'll dodge it, cash. Out-of-state runs. In the UK, Lucy Connolly's jailed 31 months for a deportation tweet. No rights, just privileges there. Here, the Constitution's the shield, Trump's banking on that bedrock. Global stakes and rare earths. Geopolitically, Trump's playing big. China cut rare earth exports after his tariffs. National security alert, no minerals, no weapons. He's eyeing Greenland, Ukraine for deals. Self-reliance beats dependency. Iran's Houthis got a taste. Trump bombed their ship plot, keeping promises. Women's sports, UK pool champs are now 2 men. Absurdity exposed, public backlash grows. Judicial reckoning. Judges like Jeb Boasberg are flailing, rigging cases, demanding deportees return. Roberts stated, Supreme Court's next. Congress might step up, live-dead pairing fixes voting snags, sidelines deep state delays. Ed Martin's probing January 6 abuses, 1512c2 charges could crumble. Trump's approval, up to 53%, per John Carney. People see results. Closing call. That's the rundown. Thanks for riding this wave with me. The deep state's scrambling, but Trump's team's steady. If this lit a spark, subscribe to the LM Report. We're here to decode the chaos, connect the dots, and keep you sharp. Hit that button, ring the bell. Join us, more's coming. Stay safe, stay ready.